evolution and maintaining the status quo do not make good bedfellows. To maintain the status quo, you must shut down new ideas. New ways of thinking are always met with force in the beginning. So according to the story, Jesus was gone. He fell off the map for 18 years, missing from age 12 to age 30. Many people suspect that he went to India, where there is a strong focus on philosophy, and there is a strong connection to mind-altering plants and mushrooms. Wherever he went, he returned with a philosophy and shamanic knowledge that none of his friends had ever witnessed. Having an in-depth knowledge of plants, especially psychedelic plants, is an obvious trait of a shaman. But it wouldn't be common knowledge for those living within the luxuries of Rome or even Nazareth. And this perhaps is one reason why Jesus would choose to speak in parables and never directly speak about his methods. He gave his disciples something to eat and drink, but he never said what it was. Whatever it was, it changed their lives forever. One of the first things Jesus says in the book of John is, "Very truly I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascend and descend upon the Son of Man." Any psychonaut worth his salt will tell you a strong psychedelic trip, especially outdoors, almost always feels like the sky is opening up, allowing you to peer into the heavens. Communing with something more than oneself. It can be a wonderful feeling that includes whatever words you want to use: spirits, angels, Jesus, God. This kind of knowledge is not something that you would want to share with Rome. And again, this is the reason why Jesus would speak in parables, to keep him out of trouble. These degrees of separation were also applied to shamanism as a way to conceal the truth and protect the identity of either the shaman and or the recipe. And it should be obvious where I'm going with this. The true identity of the divine holy sacrament has been stolen and hidden from the people for over 2,000 years now. And then you get to today, where the masses get a placebo. The shaman truly believes that when it comes to sacred plants, you are what you eat. The shaman becomes the mushroom. They take and eat. This is my body. This is who I am. It really starts to make a lot more sense than anything to do with cannibalism. Speaking symbolically during the sacred meal, during the ritual itself, helped to conceal the true nature of the substance for over 2,000 years. The suggestion that Jesus was a shaman and a Hierophant may sound like blasphemy, but in my mind it's quite fitting. His parables were not only taken to be offensive, but they were taken quite literally. And this is the moment in our history when the true nature of the mushroom was hijacked. It doesn't take much to put this puzzle together once you have all of the pieces. But the artists remembered the truth. The artists knew. The artists had a way of communicating with us, living in the future. This is a fresco in a monastery in Greece. This is the Dormition of the Virgin. It's kind of difficult to see in the two pictures on the left, but there are little concentric rings, as if to show growth spurts. Those concentric rings aren't always difficult to see. Here is a basilica in Brazil. Notice the concentric rings showing the growth spurts. It looks as if Jesus is crucified on the mushroom. Artists tried desperately to hide the truth in their artwork. The artist who painted this fresco in central France were fleeing from the Crusades, and they hid their knowledge this way. I know this to be true because I interviewed the groundskeeper who has been living on this property for generations. They made these paintings as a way to preserve their knowledge. And the people who were chasing and trying to kill these people, they didn't know that they should also destroy the artwork, because a picture says 1,000 words, but a symbol tells the whole story. Today the church claims direct access to God. And if you want to connect with God, then, well, you better go to church. They've redefined the identity of Jesus Christ, and they've held these two true identities, yes, identities of Jesus, be it the Son, the plant, the man, they've held these identities hostage for some 2,000 years now. They've held history hostage, and in the end, history was almost lost. The most important part of the Eleusinian mysteries was the ingestion of the kykeon, or the kykeon. Psychedelic plants have been used in initiations for as long as there have been initiations and rituals. And Roman emperors, Cicero, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, all of the greats participated in these mysteries. They're deeply rooted in human history, yet today they're taboo. This went on for over 1,000 years. The actual sacrament would soon be replaced with a wafer and faith. There is always a history beyond the tradition and the ritual.